translation of a scene from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid where Luca is basically saying, I wanted to wear something different so people wouldn't look at me.
Yeah.
And in the localization, it says, oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves.
No, wait, that's great. Or what? Is this true? You can find the clip on YouTube.
Coming! Hey! What are you wearing that for? Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves. So I changed clothes. Give it a week, they'll be begging you to change back. Huh? You can come on in if you want.
And this is like real, right? Like this is it's like I refuse to fucking believe it. That's awful. Like what? How did that happen?
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say to Asmongold, welcome to the party, pal. We've been talking about this for a long time, but I do want to give Asmongold major kudos for talking about this. Because understand, and I wanted to highlight this because I was thinking about it as I was watching this. I've said things like this for years. So have a lot of other people. But Asmongold is in a whole other position entirely. My channel is for hobby. I do these videos because I enjoy it. I am not beholden to sponsors or advertisers. I don't have employees that I have to take care of. So I understand from his point of view, it would be much easier and much safer to not save this stuff. It's not that you have to save the other woke stuff, but just to kind of remain quiet on this. But the fact that he came out in a video that he did that was nearly 50 minutes long and came out unequivocally, both barrels blasting on this, I have to commend him. It was a great response to this, and it was incredulity. That was his response. I can't believe that they would do this. But what I want to show is actually a clip that I think encapsulates this entire problem. Because we're not just dealing with people that are injecting their politics into anime and manga. We're dealing with people that are willing to go to the extreme of taking like a Twitter conversation and putting their response or their quip into the mouth of an anime character talking to somebody else because they can't win that Twitter argument. Genuinely, when I say this, ladies and gentlemen, you can believe it's from the heart. These people on the left, these woke individuals, are the most pathetic human beings I've ever seen. Just take a moment to absorb how absolutely cringe this is.
Seems a hell of a lot cooler than the rest of those stuck-up chicks.
So what exactly are you doing here at the arcade? I thought all of the boys were supposed to be stuck in the school's prison.
I was asked to run a couple errands, not that it's any of your business.
Whoa, pump the brakes, Arthur Fonzarelli. Have you got a stick up your ass? Or are you one of those dumbass Gamergate creep shows?
Yeah. So, that is embarrassing on a whole bunch of levels. Now, you may say, well, that's not really that big of a deal. No, that's huge. That is a huge deal, in fact. Because this character never said anything like that in the original anime. The original creator did not know what Gamergate was, did not care what Gamergate was. They had a vision for this franchise. And these people that are so talentless, so completely worthless, have done nothing to contribute to the anime creative spaces, have not created their own anime or their own manga, have done nothing in terms of creation. They have the gall, the chutzpah, the balls to alter something that they didn't make. That to me is stunning. If I were put in charge of a Sex and the City movie, and I hate Sex and the City, I think it's a stupid, obnoxious movie that promotes degenerate lifestyle and behavior. I hate it. If I were to be put in charge of it, they're like, we're going to give you a bunch of money to make this movie. Do you know what the first thing I would do? I would hire people that like Sex and the City and say, look, you go and we're going to make this movie the way that people who like Sex and the City want the movie to be. Because that's the least that I could do being hired for a job. It's not my position to turn Sex and the City into Bloodsport or Rambo, movies that I happen to like. I'm not going to add in a character to Sex and the City or make a character say something along the lines of, Rocky or Terminator, something that I enjoy more of. But these people do. And not only that, they go a step beyond that. Not only do they inject their politics, they also do Twitter replies. Oh, what are you, some gamer gator? That's so pathetic. And this is from Funimation, one of the biggest dub companies in the US. And they do this over and over, and they've done this for years. In manga, in anime, in video games, in comic books, in movies, it has been an endless onslaught. And every time they do it, it takes a little bit of the credibility away to the point now where we don't trust these people at all to do anything. I wouldn't trust these people to run a hot dog stand. These people are so incapable of following even the most basic instructions. Which is why I'm super excited for AI. Because AI, at the bare minimum, looks like it's going to be able to follow directions and do a pretty decent job. I hope the AI gets better and better, and these people can be replaced completely. Hell, if we get to a point, I hope they fire the entire Funimation voice acting team because they're all terrible, and replace them with AI equivalents. I'd be perfectly fine with that because I still remember the Vic Mignogna situation. I know how terrible these people at Funimation are. That's a conversation for another time. That's a whole other can of worms. But my point here is that if you want to know why people celebrate these terrible localizers losing their jobs, being humiliated, getting up in arms, being angry, it's things like this. Funimation is not some run-of-the-mill indie studio. It is one of the biggest anime publishers in America. And they do stuff like this all the time. They make these little changes, alterations, add in this hip jargon. Oh, we're going to use the word yeet. This sort of stuff happens, and that's why people get so upset, because it makes no sense for the story. It doesn't flow. You break the fourth wall. Now, if Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, cool. That's part of his character. You can make it work. But when it's in an anime, unexpectedly, out of nowhere, yeah, it's a bit of an issue. So I really want to reiterate this again, because this is part of the problem. That in the initial, actually, let me go back. In the initial sub, look at what Toru says. What's with that outfit? Everyone was always saying something to me, so I tried toning down the exposure. How is it? You should try changing your body next. So the entire purpose of the comment was a joke about the fact that it doesn't matter that this big titty dragon changed her clothes because her tits are so fucking huge that they're going to attract attention. I mean, Asmongold's eyes are trying to reach up there in that direction. The whole tone of the conversation is different. And this one, it's, what are you wearing that for? Although, the sub is actually more natural. Like, what's with that outfit? What are you wearing that for? It just seems kind of odd. Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves, so I changed clothes. Give it a week. They'll be begging you to change back. That is a fourth wall break. Whereas this is a conversation between two characters, not a fourth wall break. So, I think it's critically important to discuss all of this stuff, to continue to bring it to light, But again, I will reiterate that Asmongold has a lot to lose when talking about this stuff because he's in a position where he's got millions of followers. He's got advertisers. He's got sponsors. He's got employees. He's got brands to associate with. He has to remain in the good graces of a lot of these people. And I think it's really cool that he very bravely, and use the word brave, but he did. He very bravely came out and made his position unequivocally clear. There was no ambiguity in his position on this, and I have to say thank you. Because far too often people ignore this, or they downplay it, or they gaslight it, but it is a major issue. You have these people that are altering these works of art, and the irony here is that these people are all left-wing extremist weirdos that if you ask them, like, what do you think of American imperialism or colonialism? They'd say, oh, it's evil and it's terrible and it's bad. But they're doing the exact same thing with American culture. They are imposing American culture, their version of American culture, not mine, but their version of American culture, woke culture, onto other countries, other cultures. They're demanding uniformity. If you don't comply with their woke cult, they're going to try to conquer you through peer pressure, through character assassination, innuendo, all these other things to tear you down, to ruin your business, to ruin your life. That's what these people do. They demand hegemony. They demand uniformity. They demand that you comply. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated into this collective of degenerate, mentally ill losers who support all of the worst things, are terrible people, people you wouldn't want anywhere around you, people that don't know anything. If you want to watch one of the funniest videos in the world, watch these fucking losers, these parasites, try to build a farm in Chop and Chaz when they, by gunpoint, took portions of the United States and said, these are ours now. Watch these people try to make a farm. I guarantee you it will be the most hilarious video you've ever seen. It's just a bunch of fucking hipsters shitting in a field, thinking that they're going to grow crops. And the spoiler, they didn't grow anything, but the smell was so rancid that they all just left the fields. That's right. These people trying to grow things, it was so fucking rancid. They were just shitting in fields, fencing it off and saying, no, this is the black garden. This is the white garden. This is the LGBTQ garden. And really, they were just shitting in a bunch of fields, and it started to smell so bad that they had to leave. Absolutely hysterical. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very important that people like Asmongold and a lot of the other larger content creators talk about this from time to time, bring it to light. So that's why I appreciate what Asmongold did. He didn't have to do it, but he did, and he did it in a very, very excellent way. Excellent, bruh. No, it was very good, and I appreciate that because, again, it'd be much easier just to say nothing. But one thing that I will end on is I think that anime is a pretty interesting form of entertainment all around. Two of my favorite movies are Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke, which, ironically, for some of the accusations that have been made against me, are both animated movies that really do star female characters. But oddly enough, Japan can create female characters that are just absolutely amazing. And, people have told me in my comments that I just want, like, meatball heroes with 6 and 8 packs and rippling muscles. The main character of Spirited Away is a little Asian girl. One of the best characters. I mean, just the most endearing. So, I think it's important to understand that there is no uniformity. What is most important is diversity of thought, diversity of opinion, because in Japan, you can have a female character like Princess Mononoke, who's a warrior, but is feminine. And on the other hand, you can have a female character who's this little girl, who is an intrinsic part of Spirited Away. One of the best parts. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think Japan is eating our lunch in terms of creating entertainment. I don't think that there's anything we can do at this point to reverse that tide because our companies are infiltrated with this dead weight. These people that contribute nothing, that add nothing, are the laziest, good-for-nothing people I've ever seen. They don't have a good idea to save their life. They're not good writers. They're not good directors. They're not good producers. They're not good at anything. There is no way that these are the people that are going to make the next Star Wars or the next Terminator or the next whatever. Going to take something like Titanic and do what James Cameron did. These people are going to continue to leech off of things that are popular and to try to add a bit of themselves in it to take credit for it, all the while dragging it to the bottom of the sea because there's nothing that these people do that general audiences around the world and most of America like, appreciate, or enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.